Hi, I'm Niall from GulfStream Boat Sales. Today I want to show you around a Beneteau Antares 760. This is a 2005 model. It's fitted with a nanny 200 horsepower turbo diesel shaft drive engine, and it's in beautiful condition throughout. It's run 546 hours from new. It's been very well cared for, very well maintained. It's got a very good spec as well, and we're here at the owner's home to show you the boat. Here's the boat stored here. We're going to take a walk around the boat, show you the exterior of it. We can take the opportunity to have a look at the hull bottom as well. We're also going to show you in through the boat, show you the engine bay, point out all the features this boat has and the spec level that this one boasts as well, and just hopefully give you a better idea of whether this might be the boat for you. Just before we start, I always think that the setting that you find a boat in could tell you a lot about the actual condition of the boat, how well it's been maintained and looked after. This boat is, if the setting is anything to go by with this particular boat, then it's been looked after like a baby and it's in really good shape. The owner was telling me that he only has the boat about 18 months. I know that the owner knew his previous boat as well. He's a very meticulous sort of owner, very fussy with maintenance and things like that. He was telling me that he downsized from a bigger boat to this one so he could keep it at home, because he likes to keep the boat at home so he can keep it nice and clean and tidy. He had this plinth made up to mount the boat on. He's currently got it stored on blocks and stands here. The boat hasn't been in the water at all this year, so it's been sitting here since I think around about October of 2014. He also had these posts, you might see these poles set into the plinth, because he has a big frame thing that he can mount over the top of the boat to keep the elements off it during the winter. Taking a look around here as well, it's a beautiful spot. It's really well maintained, and it's just an indication of how well he takes care of all his stuff, including the boat. So you'll see that as we walk through the boat, but this one it's been looked after like a baby. Taking a look down along the starboard side of this boat, you can tell that the gel coat's in pristine condition. I've had a really close look around the boat. I can't find any sort of impact marks or scuffs or scrapes or damage around the gel coat. It's all in really nice shape. Below the waterline as well, the boat's had a coat of anti-fouling. The owner was telling me he did that this summer with the intention of putting the boat in the water, but because the weather was so bad, he actually didn't get around to it. He actually told me he doesn't really like to get the boat wet. He prefers to just look after it, maintain it, clean it, keep it tidy, sitting here at the house and looking at the water, as opposed to actually putting the boat in the water. So each to their own, but so the boat has been anti-fouled, it hasn't been put in the water. You can see here it has a bow thruster on there, so it makes handling the boat in and around the marina really simple and straightforward. Taking a walk down here, you can see that all the graphics are in really nice shape. As I said, the gel coat's perfect, the rub rail's perfect as well. These engine room vents, they're in nice condition too. Cleats are nice and solid, all the stainless steel rails and things are in great shape. And coming right down to the stern here, this starboard side's in beautiful condition. Up at the nose of the boat, we've got a stainless steel anchor roller and a nice chunky anchor up there. It's all in really good condition. Coming down along the port side, it's a bit dark in the shade of the sun. It's a beautiful sunny day here today, so hopefully you can see this, but again, the gel coat's the same as the starboard side. It's in beautiful condition. The rub rail's completely unmarked. The gel coat, there's no scuffs, scrapes, damage either above or below the rail that I can see. All the graphics are in very good condition as well, and the anti-foil, as you can see, it's a nice clean line. It's all in very good shape. Engine room vents are good. Cleats, bars, rails, all the little skin fittings and stuff are all in really nice condition down along this port side as well. The boat has a factory installed extended swim platform. It's laid in real teak. It's again in beautiful condition. The corners of these boats, if you have somebody who's berthing the boat who's not used to it or that experience, it's very easy to catch the things like the swim platform and the stern corners against a jetty or a pylon or something and damage them. But these ones are in perfect condition. There's no impact signs at all around this swim platform. It's in beautiful shape. The teak's in great shape as well. This one has a fold-in 4-step bathing ladder installed here also. The owner was telling me he had these little stainless steel plates installed here and up here so that it doesn't chafe the gel whenever the ladder's sitting against it, so it's a nice touch. And we have a big chunky outboard bracket as well, which has been through bolted onto this swim platform. The whole thing's very solid and secure, so that will carry up to about a 10 horsepower 4-stroke outboard, and it's all in great working shape. Everything else across the stern of the boat looks really good. Again, condition wise, the gel coat, the rub rail, everything's perfect. It's great that the boat's sitting up on the hard here because we can get a really good look around the hull and all the stern gear and stuff. So you can see this is a semi-displacement hull. Means that you've got great sea keeping with the boat. It never really gets up on the plane properly, but it's not designed to. It just cuts through the water. Semi-displacement, it's happy to run at any speed from 3 knots right up to 23 knots or thereabouts, and it just cuts through the coastal chop, behaves itself very well in heavier sea conditions as well, and it's a great running boat. So you can see the pronounced keel we've got here coming back to the Scag. It's obviously shaft drive. We've got a 4-blade prop there. Prop's in great condition. We've got a rope cutter in front of the prop here. We've also got this big protection Scag piece here. The owner was telling me that this was originally, I don't know, mild steel or something. He wasn't happy with the quality of it from the factory, so he had a new one made in stainless steel and then has coated it in epoxy. So that's this protection Scag at the bottom that protects the prop and the rudder from damage. If you do, manage to touch the bottom or hit a sandbank or something, that'll save your steering gear. So that's brand spanking new, and it's just been installed. It'll last for a lifetime. You can see that the owner has all the anodes taped off. So the anodes were renewed, and he had them taped off before he did this painting work. He just hasn't taken off the tape again, but they're all in perfect condition. They're on the Scag, on the rudder. There's one on the end of the prop shaft there as well. Yeah, everything down here is in really good shape. And the way she's sitting means you can get a really good look, if either yourself or your surveyor can get a really good look around the bottom of the boat. You can also see we've got the transducer here for some of the electronics inside. That's all solid and secure as well. Everything underneath the boat here, all the through hull fittings are all brass. They're all in really good shape too. One of the things that makes the Antares 760 so popular is that it's trailerable behind a 4x4. It's 2,500 kilos in weight, so 2.5 tons in weight. So even with the trailer, your all up weight still going to be under the maximum legal limit of 3.5 tons for towing behind an ordinary car 4x4. So weight wise it's perfect. It's also 8 foot 6 inches wide, so the width is no issue as well. So you can throw this on a trailer, you can take it home like this owner has to keep it over the winter, keep your maintenance costs down and stuff like that, and just help keep it in better shape. So access into the boat from the swim platform is through this lockable transom gate. So you can close the gate, keep kids and animals and stuff inside the cockpit safely. The height of the cockpit coamings here is pretty good. It's up to sort of thigh height, so if you're fishing out of the boat or if you've got kids fishing and things like that, you feel safe and secure in here. It's a really good sized cockpit as well. You get the full width of the boat, that sort of 8 foot 6, and you've got probably 5 foot of depth here, so there's a good bit of space out here for whether you're fishing or whether you're sitting having a meal or just relaxing at the end of the day. It's a great bit of space for doing that. The owner's made a few modifications. This is the type of thing he likes to do. He did the same thing to his previous boat. Like I said, the owner of this boat is more content sitting footering around at it on the hard than he is actually putting hours on it in the water. So one of the things he's done is made this little fold-in cockpit table here. So and it's all really good quality stuff he uses as well. It's the best quality materials and things. We've also got this little storage compartment for boat hooks and brushes and stuff like that. There's a couple of other wee modifications through the boat that I'll show you as we get to them. We've got this rubberized matting thrown down over the top of the fiberglass deck just to keep the deck good. Underneath this, obviously the deck itself is all molded non-skid. It's fully self-bailing as well. Big scuppers on the transom there, so if any water finds its way in here, drains overboard straight away. We've got this little fold-out seat across the transom too, so if you're sitting out here having a drink or whatever, you can have that set up with a little table in position, a couple of deck chairs here, you get 3 or 4 people around the table, no problem. Or if you're using the boat for fishing or whatever, you just want to clear the deck, so you can fold the table out of the way, drop the seat down and just open up the whole space. You'll also notice that the boat has this big awning that covers the entire aft end of the cockpit here too, so it zips onto the cabin roof. We've got one bar and a support pole here in the middle, and you tighten that down and it gives you really good protection from the elements out here as well. This boat has the optional transom shower or wash down for the cockpit here. So we've got this, runs off the 12-volt water pump in the boat, and it means you can either rinse yourself off after swimming, or you can hose the deck down after fishing, or whatever, keep it clean. That's an optional extra this boat has. We've got a manual point to operate the bilge pump here, so in case of emergency, if the electric bilge pump fails, we've got the manual one there. We've got a little gas bottle here for the hob, the cooker, lives in here. We've got our diesel fill point, we've got our shore power connection point as well. The boat's fitted with a full 240 volt shore power system. We've got a couple of rod holders on the port and starboard side, recessed into the this teak gunnel top piece. And one other thing I just want to point out back here is the sort of the quality of the mooring gear. We've got these heavy duty cleats, big chunky cleats that are down in below the top of the rail. The fair leads here on the corners, again, they're solid, sort of 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch thick steel plate, and everything is, all the stainless steel handrails and stuff around here, they're all in great condition and really solid and secure. With the mat pulled back here as well, you can see we've got access into, it's a lockable laserette here, so little key lock on it. It gives access into a huge bit of storage underneath the deck. Again, there's a big raised lip around the entrance to this hatch, and it's rubber sealed as well, so you won't get any water getting down in there. It'll all drain overboard if there's water that comes in here. And then you can see the owner's got this absolutely jammed with stuff here, but hopefully you can see there's lots of room for storing all sorts of bits and pieces in there. We've got a bit of spare fuel, jump leads, all sorts of bits and bobs, boat hooks and stuff. You've also got access to the fuel tank in here. And there's emergency access into your rudder there, so if you've got a steering failure or anything, you can get in there and operate the rudder manually if needs be. The boat has full walk around access, and it's got big wide side decks. They're about 10 or 12 inches wide up the port and starboard side, so these are great for whenever you're mooring the boat, coming in alongside, even for hanging fenders off the rails. You can get safe access up to the front of the boat, no problem, down either side. Well placed stainless steel handrail here, and then the actual bow rails themselves come right up to thigh level, so we've got more handrails up along the top of the roof as well, so really safe, easy access up here. Once you get up onto the foredeck, then all the tread surfaces are moulded on skid. We've got this little recessed forward facing seat, 2 people to sit in facing front. Again, plenty of handrails all the way around here. This is access down into the forward cabin, doubles up as an escape hatch there as well. The mooring setup here is really practical, chunky, hard, heavy duty. We've got a big windlass on here, got foot switches for operating the windlass. We've got a really big anchor locker in there as well. This boat comes complete with excellent sized anchor, lots of chain and rope as well, so it's good quality anchor setup on this boat. Another heavy duty cleat in here, and again you got this opening rail at the front, so if you need to get out and reach over, work at the anchor, whatever, you can do that, and the bow rails aren't going to get in your way. So everything up here is in great condition. The windlass is working well, all the cleats are solid, secure, the rails are good and solid as well, and the hinges and clips and catches on all the hatch covers and the deck hatch and everything's in perfect shape. Just taking a quick look at the roof of the cabin here as well. We've got VHF aerial antenna mounted just at the front there. We've got a little radar arch with the radome, the Raymarine radome sitting on top of it. Navigation lights folded down. We've got GPS aerial here. We've got a little opening hatch for a bit of ventilation in through the cabin. And again, the condition of everything here is really good. You know, the windscreen surrounds, these aluminium windscreen surrounds are in perfect condition. The glass itself is in really good shape, it's unmarked. Windscreen wipers are working perfectly, the arms aren't rusty or anything like that. Everything just looks really good. You know, it's well cared for, well maintained, nice and clean and tidy, and in really good condition. One quick thing to point out, these centre cleats, the midship cleats, I'm not sure whether they're a standard thing from Beneteau or whether they were a retrofit one, but the owner, he was telling me before he started to use the boat, he just wanted to check the quality of everything, and he noticed that one of those was just pulling out a wee bit. Whenever he checked it, they were only screwed through. So he put this little inspection panel in here on both sides, through bolted these, and put a big stainless steel plate running up the length, up, you know, like a good sort of 6 or 8 inches either side of the cleat, just to give that cleat a bit of extra strength if you are using that as a spring, you know, for your spring lines on the pontoon. So again, just an upgrade, one of these modifications that the owner has made to improve the boat for himself. Access into the cabin is through this sliding glass door. It's sliding really nicely on the rails. The glass is all in good shape, all the rubber seals look really good, and everything looks bone dry in here. You do have this little protective lip that comes out. The roof line extends back here a wee bit, so keeps the worst of the elements off the door frame. And we've got this little overhead light as well. So again, everything's in really nice condition. Coming into the cabin, we've got dinette here on the port side. It'll accommodate 4 adults sitting around this center table. We've got a little galley unit here on the port side, just behind the helm seat, helm position. And then just in front of this dinette, we have a little jump seat here that the owner actually had made up to go in there. It's a common complaint actually on these Antares 760s that there's no sort of passenger seat up near the helm. You know, if you're sitting up, you have to sit in this one face backwards. So the owner addressed that by putting this little jump seat in here on the port side, so your navigator, your passenger can sit there, have a conversation with you whenever you're underway. This boat is ideally set up as a cruising boat for couples. So downstairs we've got a forward cabin, forward V-berth, there's a separate enclosed toilet and shower compartment. You've got all your creature comforts here, your cooker, your sink, your fridge. There's heating on this boat as well. You know, so it is a comfortable place to stay, but it's really ideally set up for 2 people. You probably could accommodate a couple of kids. You could drop this down. You could drop this down, make it up in another bed for 2 small kids. But yeah, it's a really comfortable boat for 2 people to go away on extended passages. The boat's category B rated for 4 people, so it's, you know, offshore rated for 4 people. It's category C for 6 people. So if you're doing day trips and stuff with more people, it's category C rated. Just, you know, keep a little bit closer to shore. But it's a very capable coastal cruising boat, and it's an ideal boat to go away on for extended periods of time with you know, a couple on board. In terms of the condition of everything in here, it's like new. All the woodwork's in pristine condition. The upholstery's perfect. All the instruments, everything works. All the switch gear's all working. Got these little overhead cabin lights. There's a little opening vent in the roof. All the clips, catches, seals, everything's in perfect shape. It's also got a full set of Beneteau curtains, these little dark navy curtains, so you can, if you are spending the night on board, you can close this all off. There's a little curtain thing that clips on over here as well, so you can make the whole boat nice and dark for sleeping in. Yeah, it's a perfect shape. Whenever you're not using the galley, you've got this to use as shelf space, or you keep charts on it or whatever, fiddled edge all the way around it, so anything you put on there is going to stay on there. And then whenever you're using the galley, this lifts up out of the way. We've got a twin burner hob, gas hob, with the gas bottle outside. We've got a decent sized sink. There's a few bits and pieces stored in here at the minute, but good sized sink, hot and cold running water, pressurized water, and there's a good bit of storage actually as well. So little cutlery drawer, neatly located just under the hob, and then we've got a big cupboard underneath here that'll swallow. You see the owner's got mainly cleaning stuff in there at the minute. Just goes to show you how he spends his time on board. But there's tons of room in there. You know, if you're going away, really big cupboard in there, so if you're going away for a long weekend or even an extended period of time on board, there's plenty of space to get your stuff in out of the way. Underneath the helm seat we've also got storage for glasses and cups and the obligatory bottles of wine. Again, condition wise, everything here is perfect. Woodwork's pristine, all the clips and catches, the tap, everything's in perfect working order. I should also quickly mention that there's tons more storage underneath the seats in the dinette. We've got a storage bin on just under the whole seats, both sides there, so there's tons more space to get your life jackets, first aid kits, all that sort of stuff in out of the way off the deck. Taking a look at the helm position, we've got a nice high seat, we've got a footrest here as well, so you can, comfortable seating position. We've got the huge big sliding opening windows on the port and starboard sides of the cabin, so you can keep an eye on you can get your head over the side whenever you're coming in alongside a pontoon, and you can communicate with your crew members who are dropping fenders and handling lines and stuff like that, and also gives a really good flow of air through the boat on a nice day, because it does. These cabins always, you get a serious bit of greenhouse effect. I mean, it's the end of, it's 1st of October today actually, and the sun's out and we're sweltered in this boat, so it's good that you can open up the windows, open up the back door, open up a little vent in the roof and get a good flow of air going through the boat. In terms of, so as I said, this boat's fitted with the 200 horsepower Nanny turbo diesel engine. The boat cruises economically, it burns about maybe 5 gallons an hour whenever it's running at sort of 17 knots, 16 to 18 knots. And that's probably its happiest sort of cruising speed. It'll plod along all day at that sort of speed, and it's using, you know, very little fuel. If you open it up right out full throttle, it'll probably get up to about 22 to 23 knots, which is a good turn of speed if you need to get home in a hurry or if the weather's turning against you. But like I said, because it's semi-displacement, the boat will cruise quite comfortably and happily at any speed, up to sort of the 20-22 knots. The 200 horsepower is definitely the engine of choice. You do get these boats with 150 horsepower as well, but it's a little bit underpowered by all accounts. So taking a look at the controls, we've got a big steering wheel with stainless steel center spindles, hardwood surround on it. The throttle lever falls easily to hand down here on the right hand side. We've got controls for the windscreen wipers up here, and also the demister. There's like a heater demister system on here, runs whenever the engine's running, so you can keep the screens clear. You've also got a wee outlet down in the cabin too, so it just takes a chill out of the air in the boat. Controls for the bow thruster here as well, so again they're easy to hand. So you can keep one hand on the steering wheel, one hand on the thruster and throttle controls. In terms of electronics and things, we've got this Nanny engine instrument panel. So we'll just power that up, just show you there. It's currently showing 546.1 hours. Just turn that off, that buzzer goes off. But 546.1 hours from new. So that averages out, the boat's 10 years old, so it's averaging around 50 hours a year, which is good solid usage. It's definitely not been overused, but it's also, you know, it hasn't been excessively used either. 50 hours a year is a pretty good number. There is service history for the last 2 years. The current owner bought the boat in the winter of 2013, I think it was around March 2013. And he had it serviced then. He said it's serviced every year since he bought it. The last service invoice is actually for May this year, May 2015, and the number of hours on there is 546. So the boat hasn't turned a prop since it was last serviced. That was a full engine service, and the invoice is there for that. So this boat doesn't need anything done to it. It's ready just to go to the water. Taking a look at the electronics then, it's got a full suite of Raymarine electronics. So we've got an RC435 colour chart plotter. That's preloaded with charts for all the way around Ireland, here in the UK I think as well. We've got a Raymarine DS500X fish finder, depth sounder and fish finder, and we've got a Raymarine Pathfinder SL72 radar system. So in terms of electronics, it's all you could want. We've also got a Simrad RD68 VHF radio, which lives down here by my right hand too. All the electronics are working perfectly, and like I said, for coastal cruising it's an ideal setup. There's also a big Plastimo compass that sits right at the front of the dash there, just by the windshield. And you've got a great chart table area over on the port side of the boat, so you can have your paper charts alongside you as well. So yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a Beneteau. They're all built with coastal cruising in mind, you know, around the French coast and stuff. Very similar conditions to what we're going to get up here in the northwest of Ireland or around the British Isles. And They just build really solid, practical boats, and they're a pleasure to go cruising in. This one's definitely no exception. Boat also has a full tank of diesel at the minute. That's going to be sold with that too. So again, it was prepped this season to go into the water, and it just didn't happen. So full tank of diesel is included with it as well. So coming downstairs, then we've got 3 steps down in the little companionway here. We've got the V berth behind me, which you can separate off with this little privacy curtain here. So that's a good big double berth in there. And then we've got the heads compartment here on the port side. A few other bits and pieces I want to show you here as well. We've got a 12 volt switch panel here for navigation lights, cabin lights, controls, bilge pumps, fresh water pumps, stuff like that. And we've got the stereo here. We've got a 12 volt, well actually a dual voltage refrigerator. So it runs off 12 volt. Whenever you plug in the shore power, it runs continuously on the shore power. We've got a little battery status monitor here, little digital monitor for the battery system. So that's really good. So it shows you the current battery voltage, shows you the charge level in the battery as well. So that's a really good system. Isolator switches and stuff running underneath the steps there. We've got a big storage compartment here over on this side. Nice big shelf above it. Little overhead light here. Access into the back of the dash in here. Everything looks nice and clean and tidy. You've got big earth bar there. All the electrical connections are clean, rust free. This is service access into the hot water calorifier, screen wash, battery chargers in there, and this is the little demister heater unit. So like I said, whenever the engine's running, you get it warms up a little matrix in there. Then you get blow hot air out at the screen. There's a little outlet down there also. The boat's fitted with this little night heater too. So this works off shore power. So if you're staying in the marina, plugged in shore power overnight, you can stick that little heater on, and that'll give you heat too from the 240 volt. As you can see, the forward cabin here is in lovely condition, beautiful shape. There's no evidence of any leaks or anything. Everything's nice and clean and dry and tidy. Woodwork's in perfect shape. The mattresses themselves are in great condition too, and it's a really good sized berth. There's storage all the way around it too. You can also remove this little filler piece, so if you want to change in here with a bit of privacy from upstairs, take the filler piece out, you get a bit more floor space there. This is where the current owner keeps his life raft. But yeah, so you can use this as a changing room too. Taking a look at the heads compartment here on the port side, we've got full standing headroom in here. Pretty decent size actually. We've got pump out marine toilet. We've got pressurized hot and cold water there at the sink. That shower head pulls out and you can rinse yourself off. The whole compartment is lined and drained. A little bit of storage underneath the sink here. Access into fresh water pump, valves and stuff like that for the system. And we've got the switch here for the shower drain pump as well. So whenever you're in there, you can knock that on to drain the contents of the compartment overboard. There's also a little opening port light in there, little vanity mirror, and an overhead light too. So it's really well appointed. Doesn't look like it's been used very much, and it's in lovely condition. The owner has these rubber mats down in the cabin as well. You can get carpets. I must check with him whether he has the carpets as well. I'm not sure, but it wouldn't be a big deal to get a set of carpets if you preferred carpets. But you just need to roll this back, and then we've got a big access hatch into the engine, which is located in the just amidships here. Huge big engine room. Service access is really good. Whether you're just performing your daily sort of checks, oil level and things like that, or even for more in-depth maintenance, you can get down in there and you get good service access all the way around the engine. As I said, it's this nanny 200 horsepower turbo diesel, gives about a good turn of speed. It's been well serviced. Like I said, it's just had a service in April this year, 2015, and it hasn't done anything since then. So oil filters, fuel filters, engine oil, everything was renewed, and it's ready just to go to the water. So you've got the gearbox mounted on the back of the engine there, and the shaft then running through to the P-bracket, the prop outside. Everything in there looks nice and clean and tidy. No evidence of no high water line in there. The battery boxes are up the front. All the terminals look nice and clean and tidy. The owner did have the boat surveyed before he bought it, just around about 18 months ago or whatever it was, and it came through the survey really well. Similarly, I would expect her to fly through any survey you choose to get done now if you're interested in buying the boat. But yeah, this engine bay looks nice and tidy, and the engine looks in great shape. So there you have it. That's the 2005 Beneteau Antares 760. As I said, it's fitted with a nanny 200 horsepower turbo diesel engine. It's got a great spec, including a full suite of Raymarine electronics, radar, GPS, fish finder, VHF radio. It's got onboard heating, demisting. It's got shore power, refrigerator, cockpit transom shower. It's got a great spec level, and this one's in beautiful condition. It's only done 546 hours. It's done absolutely nothing this year. It's been looked after like a baby by its current owner. As I said, I know the owner. I've been around his previous boats. I know the standards that he keeps these things at, and I really don't think you'll find a better looked after or better prepared example on the market today. I also discovered as I was going through the boat's paperwork that I actually know and have dealt with the previous owner of this boat as well, the guy who the current owner bought it from. Coincidentally, we sold him, I think it must have been the boat after this. So he's also a fussy guy, kept the boat down in Dublin. I know that he likes to keep his boats well maintained as well. So as far as I'm concerned, this one's got a really solid history. It's been really well looked after. It's obvious from the way that the boat's been kept and where it's sitting here that the owner takes pride in it, and like I said, he doesn't like to get it wet. So hopefully the next owner will get a bit more use from it and get to put it through its paces around the coast here, and just have a bit more fun with it. But as I said, yeah, this is a great boat in great shape. It's going to be a great buy for someone. If you like it, if you want to come and have a look at it, or if you'd like to arrange to get it surveyed or inspected, then please don't hesitate to get in touch with me. You can give me a call. It's usually the best way to get hold of me, or drop me an email or fill out the callback request form on this page of the website, and I'll contact you at a time that's convenient. Thank you very much for watching.